Good morning to all of you. We should have gotten a note from somebody at MSG for how late we were up watching that game. Yeah. Kyle, I can dish it out and I can take it. Okay, I was riding real hard for the Knicks yesterday, and the Spurs showed up, showed out, did what they had to do. This is the type of series we were expecting, and that energy needs to permeate through all New York teams, I think, Kyle Brandt.
Maybe so. Maybe we will do that. But on the topic of dishing it out, I don't know if you guys heard, the tickets were very expensive. It wasn't covered very much. All the coverage of this game was about how much the tickets cost. It became obnoxious. It became disallowing for fans to get in there who really care about the team. And can you imagine being one of these saps who shelled out 12, 20, 50, 100 grand to watch the Knicks shoot 3 for 13 from 3, whatever it was. They had Mike Brown complain about the officiating after the game for the worst cat game. Even Spike looks pissed off. Even Lisano Gaib looks mad. That person looks like they're not allowed in the stadium, and we know why that was. But, geez, if you imagine paying all that money for that flat of a loss, sorry, too bad. Maybe we'll get him again.
Listen, I was mad, too. I wasn't even at the arena, and I was mad because I was just hoping that something would happen where I knew Kyle Brandt yesterday was talking about the Spurs, and I checked the score at third quarter, and I saw that the Spurs are winning. Yeah. And I was like, listen, I got to go to sleep, but I got to see the end of this game. 8:45 hit. I got to be up at 3 o'clock. I'm like, I am so angry. I didn't pay millions of dollars for seats, but dang, I paid for it in sleep.
That part. I would say more precious than actual Monopoly money. All right. Meantime, it has been a busy week across the NFL landscape with more than half of the league's teams holding their mandatory minicamps. It's the last opportunity for these teams to get together before they report back for training camp, more than a month away. All right, so as we show you this map here, you will notice that the 49ers, they have been grayed out. That is because head coach Kyle Shanahan canceled the team's minicamp after OTAs. So that gets us to our lead block. Let's get into this, guys. The Giants had some surprise visitors at camp yesterday with Hall of Famers Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson in the house. If that's not motivation, I don't know what is. The Giants kicked off the first day of minicamps with a head full of optimism. Edge rusher Brian Burns was asked if he had a different feeling about the G-men heading into 2026.
Everybody's excited right now. Every other team is excited. You know, everybody's 0-0. They're seeing the pieces they have, flying through OTAs. But I'd be lying to say that if I didn't feel like this was a little different. I was a little excited, and, I expect highly of this team. I'd be lying if I didn't say that. But at the end of the day, like I said, you got to prove it. It ain't just, it ain't just about being happy and optimistic. You got to get on the field and you got to prove it against another team and, impose your will on them. So.
I mean, I suppose the month of June is sponsored by the word optimism when it comes to the NFL. So how optimistic are you that things will be different for the Giants this year, Manti?
I'm really optimistic about it. And if you're a Giants fan, you should be, too, because the reality of this is a really, really good football team. And then things will be different. You start with your quarterback, Jaxson Dart, going into year 2. Year 2 is a big jump for any young player. There's a thing called experience. Nothing teaches you more about this game than getting snaps, especially the type of snaps that young man has gotten. Not to mention, he's going to have his best friend back, Cam Scatterbo, and you know what those two guys combined, what great TV and great games we're going to get out of those guys. Now, defensively, they aren't just better. They're dramatically better. That defense got faster. I thought that the signing of DJ Reader out of Detroit was a huge signing for them. They have a lot of experience now in the secondary, is what they lacked last year. They have probably the best coach they've had since Tom Coughlin with Coach Harbaugh going there. So I am very optimistic about the New York Giants, but this is what I'm not optimistic about. Malik Neighbors, what's the deal? Okay, I saw him in that softball game while Scat was over there doing backflips. Buddy was struggling to get to first base. And so that's something that concerns me. But the biggest concern I have is the division that they're in. The NFC East, that thing is a gauntlet. So there's a lot of optimism. I'm optimistic about the New York Giants, but when you look at the flip side of it, there's some caution there, Mike G, when it comes to what their 2026 season could look like for me.
We show Brian Burns 7 years in the NFL. You know how many of those 7 seasons have been winning seasons for Brian Burns? I'm going to give you the answer right here. Zero.
Wow.
0. Maybe one of the more underappreciated players in the NFL, particularly coming off a year in which he had 16.5 sacks. He had 3 forced fumbles, 7 passes defensed. and has turned into a really good leader. That whole Jaxson Dart, Donald Trump thing that happened, he was one of the biggest voices in the room that morning from what I am told. So maybe this is the year we finally appreciate Brian Burns nationally and from an NFL perspective. But for that, his team's got to win some games, which is why maybe, yes, he should be a little bit more optimistic. Previously, you saw the defensive numbers. I'm going to take it to the offensive side of the ball because my reason for optimism is on that side and the experience. And I'll include John Harbaugh in this too as well. When I talk about the former head coaches and the guys with a lot of experience as coordinators on this team. Matt Nagy as the offensive coordinator for this team. And listen, I know a lot of people were giving Matt Nagy flack for what happened in Kansas City last year. I think this is going to be a different looking offense for Nagy than what we saw in Kansas City because that's still Andy Reid's offense out there. And how come it was not about, Andy Reid can't get this thing going versus, it was all on Nagy. So I'm really intrigued by that part of it. And the fact that he's got Brian Callahan, look, his stint as a head coach of the Tennessee Titans, we know it didn't go according to plan, but as an offensive mind, still incredibly highly thought throughout the league. And then you got Greg Roman added to the mix. So you've got guys that have different strengths that can come together and lean on their experience. Obviously, with Roman, it's going to be more so in the running game as well. And I think this is going to be more of a running team right now than we are expecting, perhaps, of the Giants. I think it's going to be a strong ground game, obviously leaning on Cam Scatterbo. They've got some other running backs that they want to rely upon as well. And that offensive line is better. The addition of Francis Mauigoa to this offensive line, that pick at number 10, which was part of the Dexter Lawrence deal, I think is going to have a ripple effect for years on this franchise and on this offensive line. These are my reasons to be more optimistic. The experience that they added, and I think they're going to be a lot stronger up front as well.
Yeah, this is fun. Mike, I think you're probably like me. I've been asked this question every June for the last 10 years about how optimistic I am about the Giants. I mean, this goes back to Eli and Odell. And most years I just lie and just say, it's going to be great. Like, this year I actually do feel like it. I'm completely being honest with you. I'm not lying at all. If you're not optimistic this year, when will you be? I run into Giants fans all the time. I live in a Giants area where the Giants fans are. And I run into someone and they watch the show and they say, I say, so who's your team? And they say, it's always like this, Giants. Like they look down and they shake their head and they go, Giants. And I go, whoa. Why are you making that noise? You're supposed to be excited. You have a great coach. You have an executive. You have a guy who's going to run this team. You have young, exciting players. What is wrong with you? Well, that's another issue because they're all beaten up about years and years of losing. But cry me a river. This team looks good. This team looks fun. And I will say, Mike just ran down the entire coaching staff, top to bottom, I think. And we do it every June. We don't ever do it in December. And if their quarterback can play this year, maybe we will.
KB, I got to ask you a question because you said something that's fascinating about Jaxson Dart, about you don't know if he can be an above-average quarterback in this league so far. What do you see that he needs to do, in your opinion, that could make him an above-average quarterback in the NFL?
Well, I like him a lot. Manta, he was great in spots last year, but if you were just going to do the boring, soulless ChatGPT summation of Jaxson Dart's rookie year, it would just be a lot about him staying healthy. It would be a lot about he got beat up and then he, no neighbors, no Scatterbo. So, to give him a letter, I can look at some other quarterbacks and say, your rookie year, you get a B-. I just don't even know if he had a grade. So it's if he was really good last year, we'd be so excited. If he was bad last year, we'd be like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of him. He's one of the more interesting players right now. And Mike, maybe you agree with this. He's a pivotal guy because he may just come out this year and be awesome, or he may come out and just be really, really mediocre. But I don't know. And you can't say that about a lot of starting quarterbacks. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see what. Now, I talked about the difference in the offenses, but I want to see what Matt Nagy and his experience working with Patrick Mahomes can instill in Jaxson Dart. Not saying, let's be clear, Jaxson Dart is Patrick Mahomes. I do see some similarities in their playing style, though, and I believe that is echoed. I know that is echoed inside that building there. There is a chance for him to come out here and start to show that his skill set lends itself to the NFL more so than just running the football, which has gotten him in danger. That's the part of it. You talked about him getting injured last year, that he's got to be smarter with how he uses his legs. Can he use his legs to set up the arm as well? That's going to be a big part of what Dart's going to do. I want to see if Nagy can help coach him through that and see if we can start to tap into some things that are going to be successful at the NFL level.
I will say, guys, an incomplete or an I don't know is actually the most generous thing that you can say about a young quarterback making his jump to the second year. It's almost a clean slate for him. It's better than, oh, no, he was terrible.
Right.
Yeah, it is a lot of grace for a league that doesn't really dish out a bunch of that. Meantime, new head coach John Harbaugh also spoke yesterday. He was asked about Jaxson Dart and how he's adjusting to that new look offense, to your point, while also discussing some motivational music selections that he's been playing for the team.
I think he's adjusting really well. He looks good. I love his competitiveness. He wants to be perfect every play. So it's just it's a work in progress all the time. It's still fairly early, but the clock's ticking. We played in team meeting. We started the team meeting off with September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. September's right around the corner. So that's what we're preparing for.
Okay, so Coach got the aux cord. I like it. Great selection. You heard him mention playing September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Phenomenal song. Really to get the guys motivated for the first month of the season. So I ask you this. What song title best describes the 2026 Giants, Manti?
Well, it goes back to what I was saying about why I'm optimistic and why I have some reservations and why I'm not so optimistic. So the song that I chose was, the song Choices by E40, where he says, yup,
so. Yep.
Nope. So I got the Giants version of it. Is John Harbaugh the best coach they've had in a long time? Yup. Does it make them their favorite in the East? Nope. Is Jaxson Dart a good QB? Yup. Is he the best in the East? Nope. Are the Giants defense going to be better? Yup. Are they the best in the East? Nope. Did Joe Shane have a good draft? Yup. Is he better than Howie? Nope. That's the song that I got from Mike G. It's the Choices by E40. There's a lot of things to be optimistic about. There's a lot of things that I love. But when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of work that they still have yet to do. So we'll see how 2026 plays out for them.
I mean, one of my favorite E40 songs right there, Manti, no doubt about it. I'm gonna stay on theme with John Harbaugh because do you remember the 21st night of September? Yes, I do. I was there at MetLife Stadium last year. Chiefs 22, Giants 9, and a hideous goal line sequence that ended the Russell Wilson era in New York at 3 games. So I'll stay with Earth, Wind, and Fire here and go with one of their other hits. We're going to slow this one down here for you, folks. We're going to go with After the Love Is Gone. And it's about this, spark of a romance that sort of fizzled out. And the line in there, can love that's lost be found? I'm not saying that things are going to go poorly for the Giants. What I'm saying is this is great. This is the honeymoon phase. That's awesome. And September is going to be fantastic. What about October, November, December, January? Because recently for the Giants and the Jets, I'll add them in as well. Jets just catching strays here for no reason. Football relevancy in New York tends to go away really quickly in the fall. And I don't want that to happen. I don't care. I'm not a fan necessarily, but I live in this market. I am right by MetLife Stadium, which, by the way, the signs are all over the place. Plan your travel carefully the next couple of weeks with the World Cup. There's enough reminders around that. But when it comes to Giants and Jets football, do you have to plan your travel? Do you even have to worry about traffic in October, November, December? That's what I'm talking about. After the honeymoon phase, can the Giants give me some relevant football later in the season? We'll see.
What is it, Mike? The Green Day "Wake Me Up When September Ends"? That's the one that they need. They need more September-based songs. Listen, I have excitement for the Giants, and no snark at all. I was going to go with John Mayer, "Waiting for the World to Change," because that's what they've been told is going to happen. But you know what? MJ, I'm going to go with a fairly well-known female pop star who might have a direct connection to a future NFL Hall of Famer, because there's a song of that pop star that I really like and that comes out with a lot of excitement. And it goes like this. It goes, "Are you ready for it?"
Yeah, that drop is sick.
Taylor Swift, ready for it? Question mark. Are you ready for it? And there she is in the snake suit with the one leg. And I watched the documentary, and that's a big deal for her. And she always wears that song for that outfit for that song. Are you ready for it, Giants fans? We even have an ellipsis at the front of the ready, as if you have to wait even longer, like through June and July and August, like we do when we're still here talking about them. You should be excited. You should be fired up. You should be ready for it, because I don't know if this team is going to win 12 games, but I do feel like Brian Burns will bring it full circle. I think it's going to feel different. I think there's going to be a little bit of a gravitas you have as a team, respect. That succession when he says you're not serious people to his kids. I think the Giants are going to be serious people this year, and I just hope you're ready for it.
Ooh, I love that. Nice little T-Swift. I'm going a little on the nose here. Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z.
Oh, there you go.
Giants, come here. Come here. Lock in. Lock in. That's it. That's all you got to do. Let's get her
For
done.
the city.
Please. All right. Later in the show, we've got someone who has a menace for opposing offensive linemen. Friend of the show, and Dominican Sue is coming through. Kyle, what else we got online?
Awesome. Well,